In today's 5-minute fix, we're going to look at how to correct run-on sentences. So if you've ever been given feedback that your sentences are too long or you're writing too many run-on sentences where lots of ideas are next to each other without any punctuation to separate them, then this video will hopefully help you improve that. So here's an example of the opening to a narrative. In the middle of the town, there was an ancient library. It had been abandoned for several centuries, but one night the three friends decided to break in. They needed to know if the rumours about it were true. So the only punctuation that we have in this sentence is the full stop at the end. There's quite a lot going on in the middle, and this is a good example of a run-on sentence. It's got multiple what we call main clauses, so complete ideas that could be their own sentence that are all next to each other with no punctuation between them. So if you find it hard to identify where main clauses are in a sentence and then separate them, we're going to try an exercise that will hopefully help with that. So what we're going to try and do is rewrite this in bullet points and in the simplest possible way that we can, the fewest words. So we're going to get rid of anything that tells you about time or place or any extra information. We're just going to focus on listing or bullet pointing out the facts of this piece. So the first thing is, I'm going to ignore all this about where it's located. There was an ancient library. That's one idea. And my next idea is that it had been abandoned. How long it's been abandoned for, we're going to get rid of that. We're just focusing on the simplest possible way of telling this story. So let's look for the next idea. One night, the three friends decided to break in. So I'm going to focus on just the piece of action here. The friends decided to break in, and we'll forget when it happened. And then my final idea, I'm going to go for they needed to know if the rumours about it were true. Can I simplify that anymore? I'm just going to say they needed to know if the rumours were true. So what I have here are 4 main clauses, and I know these are main clauses because all of them contain a verb, all of them contain a subject, and all of them contain a complete idea. So these could all be standalone sentences on their own. So if you're often told that your writing has too many run-on sentences, the first thing to do is go right back to basics and see if you can note down each idea in order in the simplest way that you can, one idea at a time, like we've done here. The next thing we need to do is start putting these back together as a single piece of writing. So rather than string them back into one long paragraph, what we're going to do is take each one in turn and decide if we want to add any extra information to this sentence.